Hello everyone, Doc in retrospect with more Super Yoshi Land, the rescue mission by Evil Guy 0613. The first stage we're going to today is Mushroom Mountains. A whole lot of mushrooms in this world. But hey, this level actually gets us a little bit of a surprise. That's right, it's the final secret area. It's also actually the only secret area that's really a considerably long level. So, I'm certainly going to be pleased about this. Give myself a little more health up and get right up to the maximum amount of health that I can get for the game. If I don't lose it all first. Maybe get a little bit careless at times when I have a health bar to expend, but well, let's face it, it's not like I'm that great at these games in the first place, so a little bit careless is probably about my norm anyway. And we got plenty of chucks and piranha plants and me standing on platforms because I want to get up to that top level one and I just can't figure it out. And now, fiery death. With a little bit of jumpy death is included as well because, well, we gotta stay true to our roots. How did I make that jump? Even looking back at this, it doesn't look like I should have been able to make that. And fire is going by the wayside for a while because capes. I actually find the capes to be more useful overall in this hack. Fire is... I tend to think fire is actually pretty effective for the most part. More than other people give it credit for. That's a wall, by the way. But it feels like in this hack that I get more mileage out of the cape and less out of fire than I usually do. Maybe because there's a lot more chucks around than normal, I think, and other enemies that aren't fire vulnerable. And there's nothing up in the sky. Which is weird because I don't actually get all that much of the flying aspect of the capes, for the most part. Outside of one secret exit, I think it hasn't ever really been necessary. I don't really know if it was necessary for that one either, I just didn't ever find another way to do it. But it's more just the walloping things with the twirly spinny attack. That's where I get the most out of it. And I've mentioned, I used the excuse earlier that the cape was rare, so that's better to have them because it's easier to find fire flowers, but as the game has progressed, I found that to not really be true. The cape actually is pretty prolific overall, which is kind of not always the norm for hacks like this. There's some hacks that don't have it entirely, and some hacks that have it but leave it as kind of a rare occurrence. I like when it's available. I like to have all the powers that I can possibly get to be pretty easily accessible. Because you never know when you're going to want one or the other, really. And I know there are some issues with it, like you can break levels with it, but honestly, if people are flying over your stages, it probably means that you're not making stages that people want to play well. Either that or they're just lame and don't just fly over things just because they're lazy. Which you can't control. But I have 7 health units in my health bar, and now that is all we can get. So we shall move on to the Mushroom Caverns. In these caverns, we will find mushrooms. And also other things. Including more of this purple goop. Well, we are still near the swamps, so I suppose that makes sense, but hopefully there's not too much of it around. I don't really want to deal with it. There's items up there, and I want them. I may actually need them. Fortunately, they're kind of difficult to get. The P-switch, I'm trying to fly up to the P-switch, but there's no really good place to fly. I don't even have to fly, though. Basically, it's one of those cases where, you know, just go a little bit further ahead in the stage and it'll give you what you need. I really should think about that more, because too often I tend to think it's something that I should fly for, or don't want to actually take the time to go look, but this is one of those games where it doesn't really do a whole lot to become super complicated or anything. Basically, it gives you basically what you need. As a result, I often waste more time by trying to cheat my way through than I would if I just did it the way the game intended for me to. Oh well, not a huge amount of time. And look at that, I lost my cape and just kind of jumped down on a muncher because I'm silly and don't think where I jump. And the block kind of faked me out there. I almost jumped on it, predicting that it would go laterally, and it did not. Something you just gotta kind of watch out for. Or maybe you don't, I do. Because that would not be the first time I've made that mistake. And here we ride moles. Mole riding, kind of dry. Although I'd rather the dry kind of mole riding than the kind where they put stupid obstacles all over the place. Because that's not fun. Stupid obstacles, not fun. A few obstacles, though, might be in order. And here we are up above the purple goop again, which means more instant death if we even just slightly slip off of our position. At least in this one, there's lots of fences around. It was really great planning there. And there too. I'm trying to step on the coop. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just my memory that's causing the issue, but I really feel like I remember the Koopas on the fences being a lot easier to step on than they have been for the most part. Oh hey, rising and falling layer 2. I haven't seen that in a while. Be careful when crossing, or you will find yourself dead. So, like that. That's one of those places where you should really duck jump. And that was just silly. Should not have died there. Like that, duck jump. And get out of the way of the bat, because the bat will try to hurt you. It will put you pain in your head. And see, this is what I mean by enemies that are easier to deal with the cape than with the fire flowers. The bats are vulnerable to fire, but I don't really like to deal with them with fire. And the dry bones, well, you all know what those are like. And for some reason, we end up back in a forest. But we have something much different from a forest to go. It is the Old Swamp Temple. And it is the castle for Stage 6. Once again, we are above Purple Goop. And this time we have 2 doors. Which way shall we go? Well, we'll go to the left. I don't really go explore the door to the right at all, but I don't know that there's anything really of note to explore. It's probably just something similar to this. But yeah, here we see more cape-worthy enemies. Spike tops, chucks. Really, the piranha plants I would prefer to deal with fire. But that's the only thing around that is more fire-worthy than cape-worthy. Conceivably, so are the footballs, but those don't come around that much. So really, that's why I tend to double cape a little bit more in this game. Of course, when I'm power-up free and a fire flower presents the opportunity, I'm certainly not going to say no. That would just be silly. But it's not going to free up all the spaces that I could be traversing, so... Hey, another door selection. Again, I won't be exploring the right sides, but the left sides... Oh, this is what they're like. Goodbye, fire and flames. Hello, spikes that I really didn't see because they're kind of blocked by the HUD. And I don't know why I managed to keep my shell there after taking that hit, but I did, so I proceeded to just waste it. Much like I was wasting all those hits. I mean, geez, I took like 4 units of damage there, and there's number 5. And I'm really not making this easy on myself. There's a pipe up there. We have to get up there. We have to try and get up there without dying. That's not an easy prospect. Because there's Wiggler, and that probably should have killed me. But it didn't, so we're moving on. Somehow. Now we don't have a choice. We have only 1 door to go through. And we have a midpoint. Midpoint, midpoint, midpoint. I'm not sure what I was waiting for up there, but it was for something. And so we have plenty of skeletons and thwomps. This typical castle fare. It's not so typical as having to build bridges like this. Game has a little bit of that, but not very much. Used to be a lot more common, isn't so much anymore. I think most of us are glad for that. At least most of us who play these types of things. So this is a lot of mostly just dodging around types of things. And that door is, I believe, a reset door, because this is a place where you kind of have to pick up a P-switch and you only have a limited amount of time to use it, and if you don't use it, you're dead. So yeah, that would be a good place for a reset door. I don't know 100% that it's a reset door, but because I never actually have to use it, but that would be my presumption. Because this game seems to be cognizant of things like that, so... It's not like a Super Mario Collision or something. And onward we go, once we have solved the puzzle. We get a free mushroom. We get out of more or less out of the temple, it looks like. And in another area where I would be better served with a cape than a fire flower. Although the raining Spinies, I'm more than happy to take them out with fire. And that extra life, it's kind of a waste of time to go get it, but I'm gonna get it anyway because that's how I am. I'm kind of a collect-a-thonner. It's just always how I am. And we have nothing? No boss. Was the boss not completed? Well, no, that's not the case. In fact, this is a very strange game in that it has a couple of castles where the boss is actually separate from the rest of the stage. I am not sure why. It doesn't seem like there would be trouble implementing it there, but I don't know. Anyway, we have a giant Spiny, which we have to activate by moving to the center of the screen. That's usually the case with bosses like this. Gotta be aware of that, otherwise you're gonna be standing there wondering what the heck you're doing. Whoa! This will make some earthquakes. The giant Spiny I have occasionally had trouble with. It depends on how they're made. This one's actually made pretty decently, but well, I can still mess up on it. I only had 2 hits there, so. And your special stuff like fire flowers and capes and things like that aren't going to help you all that much in this state against this guy. You need to wait for the blocks to come down, basically, and try to avoid his flames, which I don't do that great a job with. Evasion, not my strong suit. Fortunately, the blocks are reasonably quick to come around, which is good because it's kind of a battle of attrition for me. Hey, I took another hit. How about that? Fortunately, the blocks can kind of knock out some of the flames and give you a little bit of an opening to set up to go hit it. And with 3 hits, the giant Spiny is down. And that will be all for this video. We'll go on to World 7. Yoshi Island? Now what in the world are we going to be doing here? Why are we only just now arriving at Yoshi Island? Well, we'll find out. That's all from me for now. Until next time, this is Doc. I'll see you later.